Hello everybody, it is currently Friday, not Saturday yet, so I'm just out and about doing my thrifting today rather than tomorrow because I kind of felt like it, because as I said before, I tend to stop working at around 2, so then I still have some time to do other things before it's time for dinner and stuff like that. So I decided to go to the thrift store today so I don't have to do that tomorrow. Well, I don't have to do it any day really, but just because I felt like it's. And then tomorrow I could do maybe something else. I don't know. We'll see about that. Maybe I'll do absolutely nothing tomorrow, but then at least I'll have had a weekend where I'm not constantly out of the house. And then at the end of the weekend thinking, what did I actually do? Because that happens quite often. Mostly you look forward to the weekend, the 2 days off, and then after a while you're like, it's Monday. What happened to my days off? What happened there? And then it's already time to get back to work. Anyway, so I went to the thrift store today and I was looking at a lot of stuff, but I only really ended up buying one thing, which is kind of like it's not really a coat and it's not a vest. It's kind of like an in-between thing. It's got like almost no sleeves except for the little parts where you can stick your hands through, like little wristbands around there. Mostly it's just to cover you up and to warm you up and stuff like that, and I tend to use those a lot when I'm working at home because it gets kind of cold in my little computer corner. For some reason my desk gets really cold even though the room is not. Then the desk will somehow manage to get like almost freezing temperature, and I'll start getting cold because the desk is cold, so that's a really weird situation. So I got that, and there was still the wet jar was still there. The wet pot, I should say, or pan, whatever you want to call those things. I think it's a juicer or something. I think I said last time that it was for canning, but actually it looks like it's for juicing. Like you can put like stuff in the top and then eventually it gets pressed down into where it just gets into turn it to pulp, and then you get the juice at the bottom and stuff like that. But somebody had tried to peel off some of the tape, so I thought maybe today I can take a look at it. But no, and then I'm also not really that big of a hero that I would do it myself, because apparently it's got this really large item on the inside. Like it looks like it has two lids. One of them is probably an actual lid and the other one's probably more of a container area unit, and that one appears to be fairly deep, so you can't just like pull it over or at least tilt it to take a look inside. It really has to be pulled up, and I can't do that with tape on both sides. And I'm always one of those people that thinks that as soon as I try to do something that's not really necessarily allowed in the store, then some store worker is going to be right beside me and start yelling and stuff like that. Even though that usually doesn't happen. Anyway, so I don't do that type of thing. Speaking of yelling, I was actually done paying for my stuff for my one thing, and I was about to leave, and I was waiting for people to like exit and enter and stuff like that, because they're always in the way. They're not really minding anything like what's going on around them. And there was this one guy who hadn't paid for his stuff yet, and he had like his basket of things in his hands, and he's like talking to the security guy outside. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna go to my car to grab something, I'll be right back. But he had this basket of stuff in his hands, and the guard of course is like, no, you're gonna have to leave that here. So he was adamant about that, but the guy himself is like, oh, you're really bad at your job, and you really shouldn't be working this type of work. It's really bad for you. You should go look for something else. And I'm thinking, yeah, sure, you're thinking that because he's not allowing you to do what you want. And that makes people bad at their job, apparently. So it's kind of like the male Karen version, almost. He kind of got like from 0 to 100 pretty quickly. Now, I don't really like the whole Karen trend that's been going on for the past couple of years. Like whenever somebody says something or really like stands their ground, suddenly they're a Karen or whatever. But this guy really was annoying. Entitled, I think, is the better word for it. So not sure what the male version of the Karen is, Keith or Kevin or whatever it is. That's who he was. And I suspect that he's been doing that a lot, because it's probably not his first rodeo to talk about stuff like that to people like that, because he was constantly telling the security guard that he was shouting, or that he was like not calm, you need to calm down, you need to calm down. He kept saying that, but he was the one who was like really excited, and the guard's just like, no, I'm just telling you, you can't take your stuff outside before paying for it, so you either pay for it or you leave it here, get your stuff from the car and then come back, like that type of thing. But no, he was not having that, so that was an interesting little exchange. They were on the other side of the hall, so I couldn't like step in. Not that I would have said much anyway. If anything, I probably would have told the guy, like, no, he's doing his job well, and you're the one who's being weird, so just leave your stuff here, grab the thing, come back, you know, don't be weird. Don't make a scene out of essentially nothing what's going on. So that was an interesting little situation. It only lasted like 30 seconds, but that was probably the most exciting 30 seconds of the day. Nah, just kidding. Anyway, so I'm gonna go to the store now. I'm gonna take a look because I heard that they had a new type of test available that you didn't have to stick up your nose, so I'm very interested in that. Not that I do a lot of testing anyway, but if I do want to do a test, I don't really like sticking one of those swabs into the back of my nose. That's really annoying and painful and irritating, so I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to see if they have one, and then I can try it out at some point, and we'll see. Oh, speaking of which, I follow Dr. John Campbell on YouTube. I think I've mentioned him before. I think I may have even have linked a video of his a while back about vitamin D. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I linked a video of his. Anyway, so he's been talking about how it's probably better to have had the virus, the macaroni virus, for your immunity rather than vaccines. Vaccines, in his opinion, prevent you from having to go to the hospital, but it's not going to prevent you from catching it, just like we already thought anyway. And if you want better immunity, then it's better to have actually caught it. So I was like, oh, why don't we just have like huge Omicron parties or something, or sleepovers like we used to do as kids, so we can just catch the virus and be done with it or something. I don't think people are waiting to do that, but I guess I'm doing my own little version of that by just going outside more and going to stores more in the hopes to actually catch it. And that's why I wanted to get one of those tests to confirm to myself that I've actually had it. And then at that point, having a booster is quite useless. Actually, he said that it's like the law of diminishing returns, they call that. So if you have had the vaccine, they have like a certain coverage percentage, and it lasted for 20 weeks, he said. So, and after that, if you have the booster, then you get like an extra 10 weeks on top of that. But if you get another one injection after that, just like 5 maybe, or maybe 4, I don't know. Either way, every time you would get another vaccine, it would be less and less coverage. So ultimately, we can't keep giving people vaccines. So that's why I'm thinking we should just go out and get it, I suppose. And then hopefully we'll all get herd immunity, which is what we were looking for initially anyway. And then eventually we're just going to treat it like another flu, which I kind of think it is, because most people do handle it like a regular flu. So let's just try that. Anyway, I'm going to go to the store like I said, so I'll see you guys around. On Tuesday we'll be back with more Stardew Valley, and on Friday of course we'll have Minecraft, where we started our own little map because the other map wasn't available, and now that's just what we're doing, just living in the bamboo forest for fun. So we'll see you then. In any case, make sure to stay healthy, stay safe, or at least try to catch Omicron and stay healthy-ish while you're doing that, so you can at least be immune. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.